We're allies. I don't have to worry.
You're safe.
Big time.
You're safe. So, how was cardio?
Excuse me, you know, this and this.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Great. So we've been talking about a lot of different things, but you know, the idea of you guys teaming up to do something sounds very exciting. You know, the project you guys have going on is exciting to see. It's called what? Champions Corner?
Yes.
You want to kind of tell the audience a little bit about it?
Well, pretty much it's going to be about, as you know, people that experience life, like me and Mike, and we'll talk about pretty much mentorships and what mentorship meant to us, and what it's going to mean to our future. Without mentorship, pretty much you're going to be finished. You're not going to be of any kind of use. Without mentorship, myself, if I describe myself, I would describe myself as just the worst of the worst, just at the bottom of the bat. Had no idea, had no intentions of having a healthy, good future. And then I met this old Italian man named Amato, and he changed my whole way of thinking. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. He made me believe that I was the greatest ever lived.
Mike, who else was it outside of him? Did you have a couple men like that in your life that played a big role?
Hey, nobody plays a bigger role than him.
Wow. Like
No.
the differentiator, it's not even close.
No, not even.
Wow.
Oh, please, close. They're not in the same race.
Wow.
He's just on the field by himself.
One of my favorite things we talked about last time was about your relationship with Cuss. And, you know, the two of you, the reason why I'm excited about this project you guys have is because the background to go from there, you know, and to experience what you've experienced in your life, both of you are also in New York. So,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't get rougher than the streets you guys came up to be where you are today. Mike, how important of a role does a strong man play in a boy's life when he's trying to find himself?
Well, you know, you have to think about what perception of a strong man. He could be a strong man in a criminalist perspective, in the legal perspective. And that could be the strongest identity that he sees. And so he can go off in that level of crime as well. But it's all about, and when I say that, even these people in crime, they're great men. I won't say they're all good men, but they're great men. And so if we could really concentrate on doing the best we can from our perspective of being a good man and transform that into other children, other young boys, that would be a start.
Michael, you're seeing right now messages on YouTube go viral where it's grown men like Jordan Peterson talk about what it is to be a man, or even Andrew Tate's talking to young boys. Mm-hmm. There seems to be in every industry, there's a sect of that industry does very well. Like, hey, in books, young nonfiction is doing really well right now. Really? Youth nonfiction? Yes, kids want to know more. Oh, okay, interesting. You know, in the denomination of religion, hey, the LDS church is growing at this pace right now. Really? Why? What are they doing? Hey, when it comes down to content being created right now, young boys want to learn from a man with experience. Maybe they didn't have a father figure growing up. Why do you think that content is resonating the way it is with young boys?
Because of the fact that, you know, there's an effort to demean what a real man is today in life. I see it that way anyhow. You know, and when people look up to a guy that presents himself like a man, then it's attractive to them. You know, look, one of the reasons, Patrick, I go into prisons, I talk to these young gangbangers, you know, and they'll say to me, come on, Michael, you had the great cars, you had the women, you know, you wore the right clothing. To them, that's what a man looks like. So they want the image of a man, you know, a manhood. But, you know, the problem is a lot of people today think that when you're telling a man how to be a man, that it's demeaning to a woman. They've made that a part of society now. Well, if you're telling this guy to be a man, that means he's going to demean women. And I said, no, a real man is going to benefit women. Women are going to benefit by that because he's going to treat her the right way. You know, he's going to bring up his kids properly. He's going to, you know, he's going to be in the community, do the right thing. That's what a man is. It's not, you know, being a macho guy or anything like that. Of course, you got to defend yourself. Man protects his women, of course. But, you know, there's just, the idea of a man has been changed today. It really has. And that's what we want to teach guys. Oh, look, a man can be sensitive. A man can have emotion. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know how many times, look, I went to with the most powerful guys you want to see. I see them crying at a funeral. They go to a show and they got tears in their eyes in an opera show. I've seen that. There's nothing wrong with that, showing emotion. You know, you know, and I think these young guys today are really looking for that.
Yeah.
You know, and they look at somebody like Mike who, let me tell you something, you know, the way he came up and to be where he is today, it's a miracle. It really is. You know, under the odds that he had to face in that way. And, you know, mine is different. I didn't go through some of the things that he went. It was different for me. But, you know, the fact that I'm here, you know this, Patrick, I should be dead or in prison a long time ago. It's just been very fortunate, you know. So we want to use these experiences to try to help people. And that's what this is all about. And we're going to do it.
I fully agree with what Michael's saying, is that there's just such a need for leadership for young men these days. I guess my question is, it's not a zero-sum game. Like forever we've heard that it's the patriarchy, and this is basically has given rise to modern-day feminism. And then you see things like the future is female, where it's like, what is that? If the future is female, what does that mean for men, right? And then you see things like the feminism and the boss babe movement and everything with that. It's men and women can both win, right? I think women want a strong man in their life, and men want a, you know, what's the famous phrase, behind every great man, there's a strong woman. So how can men and women win in today's society? What do you guys think?
Well, listen, that's going to be pretty difficult. Because when you watch television, you see it could be black people, it could be white people. It's confrontation between man and woman. That's all you see on television. That's what you see on Housewives show. That's just what you see. You see this on Kevin Samuels show. You see this on sometimes, what's the other guy? Andrew Tate. It's just confrontation. Confrontation sells. And we're not going to stop this confrontation. This is going to become an era so we can continue to make money off of people's pain.
So whether it's Republicans and Democrats, whether it's blacks and whites, whether it's men and women, it's just going to constantly be doubling down on this against each other.
If you want to see the future of a country, look at his advertisement. What does it advertise?
Damn. You know what that makes me think of, right?
So true.
About how we're the only
country. You just
so true.
sit there and you just made two profound comments in the last minute.
What about, you know, how United States and I think New Zealand are the only countries that Big Pharma is allowed to advertise on. So when you see the opioid endemic that's going on right now, I think Mike Tyson makes up a great point. It's that if you want to see the future of a country, look at the advertising.
100%.
How many people are on
mixed
drugs?
families now. Look at the mixed family. Before, it was like, well, taboo is to mix a black or Italian, a black, Asian, Spanish. That was taboo, you think. But now it's promoting this is what it's going to be. Because you see the influx of different, immigrants coming in the country, and they're showing you this is what it's going to look at. And they're preparing us. They put it in the televisions or movies, you know, and that's what we're preparing for. Because people know, the society knows that runs the place. Americans, black, white, Asian, they don't take kindly to immigrants. We just don't. I don't know why. Because when the Irish was here, like in the 1800s, and when the Irish came, they were called real Americans, but when the Irish came from Ireland, they crushed them. They made them the enemy. How can you do that? That means if I came from Africa, they made these guys the enemy. So they could take advantage of them and rob them. So they made these guys, you know, not to have any feelings. Somewhat like slaves, yeah. And that's human nature.
What other advertisements you see on TV that are shocking to you? Like, that's a profound statement you said. If you want to see a future of a country, look at the advertising. What else do you see on TV?
Well, some things I'd rather not talk about.
Okay.
You know, that, it's just interesting. You know, it's just what it is, I guess.